what if it all worked out? What if life is everything you want it to be? And why is that scary? Right? It made me think of the old Marianne Williamson quote. Our deepest fear is not that we're inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that frightens us.
Constructing your life is about much more than just building a bank account. Each week, join real estate entrepreneur and mindset coach Austin Linney as he interviews guests who are constructing their dream lives and impacting the world around them on a daily basis. If you're an entrepreneur or wanting to start a business, or you just want to hear motivating stories of how others have overcome the odds, you are in the right place. And now for your host, Austin Linney.
Guys, welcome back. This is Construct Your Life. I don't know why I say it like that, but it just sounds good sometimes. We got Patrick Birdsong in the house. How are you doing, sir?
I'm well, man. How are you?
I'm good, man. It's been a while since we've had you on here. A lot of change. You ate half yourself and you disappeared. At workout this morning, they were like, he's not the same person. I'm like, no, he's not the same person. So tell everybody about your health. We'll start here, your health or your fitness journey that you've been on.
Well, yeah, like you said, it's been a minute since we've done this, but I get the pleasure of working out with you every morning now. It's pretty amazing, 5:15 a.m. And, we get to like crush the day before anybody even wakes up, and, working out with these animals, these people that are just savages, right? That just lift so heavy is inspiring. They're so fast. But yeah, so it was about 9 months. I lost about 50 pounds. Um, I tell everybody I'm an addict, right? I'm sober. I've been sober almost 4.5 years now. Sober most of my life, but COVID, got all of us. But yeah, like I needed something to get me out of my own way with food. And I was introduced to, tirzepatide. Everybody's familiar with Ozempic and all these things. And I think what a lot of people don't understand about it is it is a tool to shut off that addict brain. And I had just pointed my addict brain at food, and it literally just shut off my drive for food and eating, and helped me reset what my relationship was with food. Because everybody wants to lose weight. They think you go work out a bunch, right? And it really just comes down to what kind of calories you're bringing in, and the calorie deficit. And 9 months of calorie deficit, I saw, initially lost 25 pounds immediately. And then it just kept going. And, I didn't want that tirzepatide chin. So I started working out a lot more. And it's fun to work out when you weigh 50 pounds less. Like you can run and, lift. And man, I never thought I'd love pull-ups, but it's a blast. So that's kind of it,
Yeah.
right?
Well, what's interesting about, because I've done a ton of fasting,
Mm-hmm.
um, and I talk about this a lot with people. What's interesting about food per se is how programmed and conditioned we are to eat and consume, opposed to actually needing it, right?
Right.
When you fast a ton, you realize that at noon or 11 o'clock, like you always feel hungry, and like at 7, and you're like, yeah, but like who? Like, am I actually hungry? Like, and so like when you breathe through it, when you do a 4-day fast or 3-day fast, you're like, it's amazing the things that you say to yourself that you need it, right? And it's such an easy grab, right? And I don't talk about this subject lightly because I know so many people struggle with it. I'm just using my example of kind of establishing my association with food. And what's interesting is after in June, I would eat for 24 hours and then I would fast for 24 hours. I would eat for 24 hours, I would fast for 24 hours. I did that for the whole month. And all of my cravings, all the things that I was just like needing just went away. And now, food is just kind of a vehicle for me to build better, in my health.
Right. And I agree. I think I tried intermittent fasting a lot through my journey, and never really could figure it out. I was still just like starving by 9 a.m. And what I didn't realize, it was just like my glucose being up because I ate late, and it was a constant repeating pattern. And that drug just helped shut that noise off, and I could make it to 11 o'clock. Now, I guess maybe about a month ago, I stopped with the drugs, and I stopped, and I tapered. Like, there's a whole thing, don't, because you see a lot of people take these drugs, lose 30 pounds, and then bounce right back because they think, oh, it fixed. But, metabolism's a crazy thing. Like, I stopped a month ago for the most part, right, and was tapering off, and I just kept losing weight. I stopped intermittent fasting. Now I eat right after working out, and I eat all the way up and until 6-7 o'clock at night, as much as I need to, and I continued to lose weight. I dropped another 10 pounds, and in a month, right, which is not easy to do after losing 40. And it's just combination of the lifestyle and working out and just fueling your body versus just eating incessantly like you're talking about. And that's the tricky thing with food. I heard an expert talk about this. It's like, it's the only thing that we become addicted to, that you have to eat. Like, yes, you can fast, but at the end of the day, you need food. And so there's no way around not interacting with it. You're sober, you just don't have alcohol in the house, you avoid bars, whatever, right? Like, it's a very different addiction.
It's so important. And I think what's interesting, right, as I've joined this weird group of people who work out at 5:15 in the morning every day and literally have no off switch whatsoever. I haven't found one in any of them. They like thrive in the thing. I was talking to a group of men yesterday, and they're like, "So you're in that cult now?" And I was like, "Yeah, kind of." But you know, for me to share my journey, and I haven't shared any of what I'm doing. I haven't even shared it on social media, kind of this shift. What I realized in my workout was I was doing the things, I was working out every day, I was doing stuff to make me healthy. But what I lacked was the intensity.
Mm.
And in my opinion, the intensity in community has changed, uh, everything about how I feel. And yeah, I'm sore, and yeah, some days I don't want to do it, but I never haven't felt better afterwards.
No, and I agree. I think you hit two big things. Two different things I got introduced to with this CrossFit group, right, is the pain cave. Literally being able to shut off your brain and just go, that activity. Like, I never thought about working out in that sense, that where you meditate almost in this space of working out. And then, there's a group of them that, like, they call themselves the no days off crew. And it's about consistency, right? It's not about, like, can you just work out forever? It's just about creating the habit. And as well as I do, like, if you get there Monday at 5:15, you'll make it the rest of the week. Monday's always the hardest.
Mm-hmm.
So I really like, and then you nailed it with community. Community is the whole thing that brings it together. And I love that you dove right into joining us with cold plunging and being in the sauna after too, because how much do you get fed in that moment where we're just mixing it up with like-minded people before the sun's up, you
No,
know?
no, you've already won the day, but I want to share what kind of has kept me coming back. So I want to say it was like 2 weeks in, or I don't know, whatever. We had a hard workout Friday, but like the Monday workout was like, I mean, it was brutal. Like
Yeah,
it was really, but it was like 2-3 weeks ago. And like, I'm just me and I don't say anything because I'm just like, oh, like that was just a really hard workout and I
yeah,
got through it. And then like everybody's walking out of the gym, and these are people that have been doing it for like 7-6 years, and they're like,
right,
pardon my French, they're like, fuck that, they're like, oh my god, that was so hard. And I was like, my heart was like, okay, that was, I'm
right.
not the only one that thought that was hard. And this goes back to kind of what we shared last night in the men's group, is like, we as men, we keep everything quiet and
Mm,
we don't say anything because we're supposed to get through everything. But them sharing that it was hard too, like gave me hope that like, okay, that was hard, but I got through it anyway. And then when I'm running and I don't want to run, like they're like, you're doing great. Like those little moments, um, just are really great. And I don't think people realize those little moments are what propel people forward. And I think we should do more of that. And I find myself in my own head sometimes, but I should give more encouragement in those little moments, I think, to other people
Right.
as well too.
Well, I think it's a willingness to be vulnerable first. And I think that's so much of life these days where I think I lean into my intuition when I think somebody needs to hear something. I tell them, or if I think of somebody, I just literally like, oh man, I haven't thought about that person in a minute. And I call them or text them. I don't know how many times I just get this response of, and you have no idea how much I needed that. And it's not about me at all. It's literally about, to me, the world is saying, trust your intuition, trust what I call intuition is, God in so many ways. Like you need to be connected to these people for a reason. And I agree. Like just being willing, because it feels vulnerable to be like you're running past somebody and you're just like, great job, keep going. And who am I to say that to them, right? Like
Yeah.
what, right? But you're so right. There's a couple of them in the class that are quiet, steady, consistent people that always say, great job, keep going,
Hmm.
and it always hits. It always gives me
No.
an extra kick in my run or whatever.
And I think one of the number one things that I think, and this is me patting myself on the back, which is not easy. I have approached this entire situation with no ego,
Uh-huh.
which is super hard. But it's like I told Jeremy this morning, I haven't done squats in like 15 years.
Right.
Like these are not things that I have done, and I'm not going to hurt myself just to prove a point when, frankly, the women would outlift me still.
I was good about
So
bringing that up.
you know what I'm saying? So that is probably one of the things I'm very pleased about myself is that I'm kind of just like, okay, you could probably push it, but like maybe it's not best to do that until you
Right.
get comfortable with balance and the motions and stuff.
Right. I was going to say, when there's a woman who is 7 months pregnant, belly, and is lifting more than you, like an overhead squat too. I'm not just talking like a bench press. She has got the weight over her head, squatting, pregnant, and you're like, okay, there's no ego needed here. I can't have an ego when
Hmm.
she can do that, and it's inspiring too. Like I want to live my life with these people that are constantly challenging themselves. It's every day and doing just a
Hmm.
little bit more. Like you asked me, right? Was it, when does it get easier?
It
And
doesn't.
what was my response? I was like, it will never get easier. You'll just keep challenging yourself more and pushing harder,
Hmm.
right?
No.
Like it's whatever you choose it to be. And that's
Well,
where
and
my ego's got in my way too. There is like, I want to lift heavier and then I hurt myself, and it's like,
mhm.
oh, there's no ego here. I can't do that.
I mean, all you need, see, people don't seem to understand. Like, this, my point I'm trying to drive home is like, in the last, 4 days, give or take, I had three separate people reach out to me and say, like, hey, man, like, it happened twice last night. Like, you're looking good.
Hmm.
Like, we see the shift. And so, like, you don't know how much somebody needs to hear that.
Yeah,
And so my message to you is that if you feel called to say that or lift somebody up, like do that because it
always.
matters to those people.
Right.
That 5 seconds is everything to somebody. And so, this drives home another point, which is the backside of this and something that you and I talk about all the time, especially coming from an addict world. Your life is pretty great right now.
Hmm.
Um, you're in a very great relationship. You're like, we'll talk about business in a minute.
Hmm.
How do you keep yourself from, self-sabotaging? How do you keep yourself from like, we were talking about this last night at the men's group, like the hardest part as an addict is not when it's going bad. We know that world. It's when it's going good. That's really the hard part.
It's so true. I mean, I literally wrote down these lines when I was thinking about this morning. I said, what if it all worked out? What if life is everything you want it to be? And why is that scary? right? It made me think of the old kind of old Marianne Williamson quote. Our deepest fear is not that we're inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. And I could keep going, but it's something that we've kind of talked around a little bit, but I admire about women. Women, when they are struggling, immediately go to community. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
trying to think of the book off the top of my head, but it said that women on average poll about 12 other women or other people in their lives when they're going through a struggle. And men on average poll 0 to 1 person on average,
Mm-hmm.
one typically being their spouse, right? We literally don't go to each other and say, I'm struggling with this, right? Like, we don't want to be vulnerable. We don't want to do it. We've been conditioned to not show up and go to each other. And so you've heard me talk about this a lot. Like, I don't want to self-sabotage when everything in my life is going the way I want it to go, right? Like, I don't want to be that guy again who has to create some kind of chaos in order to feel alive. My life is amazing enough to feel alive, right? I don't need anything else. Like, I am content. And why is it scary to be content, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So yes.
Well, yeah, I mean it's scary because it's so unknown,
Right.
right? And then also, one of the things that I've shared multiple times is that, I traded, alcoholism addiction for chaos addiction,
Yeah.
you know, and we just fill our lives because it's what we know, uh, predicated on the back of the story of I'm not enough. Everybody asks me all the time, you coach, thousands of people,
Mhm.
what's the core thing? I said, it's not even debatable.
Right.
Everybody wants to be loved and everybody wants to be seen.
Mhm.
Like, there's no other debating. Like, doesn't matter what's going on. But the problem is that we have to see ourselves first.
Right.
And when we have to see ourselves, then we might actually have to break down the realities that we've created in our life. And when we
Right.
have to break down the realities we created in our life that probably are false, then we have to see ourselves and we have to love ourselves. And, at the end of the day, that is sometimes very complicated when you're in a relationship with somebody, when you're healing, they're healing, you're trying to heal together.
Mhm.
This is where this is where the constant work, the constant, vulnerability, transparency gets really tough.
I completely agree. It can be odd at times to be in a healthy relationship where we communicate, and we've found ourselves like in places where it's like, oh, I'm reacting like I'm in an unhealthy relationship. Like, you're not going to communicate with me, that I can't be vulnerable with you. And so saying sorry in those moments. But this conversation always makes me think about when I went to treatment rehab, right? Like 5 years ago. Uh, Kind of the first big topic we covered was like, do you like yourself? And I never even thought to ask the question, right? Like, I never even thought, like, oh yeah, I guess I need to have a relationship with me. And to your point, like, until I like me and like who I am, how will anybody else?
Mm-hmm.
Right. And I think that's also giving other people freedom. Like, dude, it's unnerving for people when I'm like, no, I'm pretty great. Like, I'm an awesome human. This is not ego saying this. I've intentionally created a life that I enjoy early, every day.
Yeah.
My partner Annie, she said that this morning. She's just like, it's so nice to go to work and come home and be completely content with all of it. And it's that simple.
Yeah. And I think what's interesting, right? And I've never, and I'm calling myself out, but I'm calling the overall general public. When we say we love ourselves, we've created a society where we have to qualify it as this is not my ego. And
Right.
and 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 I've never brought that up, but it's always stuck with me for years because, you know, we're not talking about Lambos and, stupid pictures on Instagram. We're talking about, like, to the core, I'm a good person. I care about what I do. I care about what puts in my body. I'm going to pick health in the morning. I'm going to pick myself in the morning, right? Because the statement I'm about to make, people are not going to believe it coming from me, but it's the truth, and I'm being vulnerable. I have never created a boundary in my life till like 3 weeks ago. Like it doesn't exist. Like I'm always available.
Right.
I'm here for everybody. You know, I literally said I am reflecting on the day I've had. Can we do this tomorrow?
Mm.
And that was like, that little statement was like everything. And like,
Right.
how many times do we just bleed our energy out to others when we're not in the place to accept whatever is coming our way?
Right. You know, and that's the other part about like loving yourself. I think we get confused with what that really means. And I think the big separation was loving yourself is about like who you are, like you said, at your core. A lot of us only love ourselves when we are providing for others and what value we can show up with. Like, what can I do for you in work or in business and these things? And it's transactional, right? So we feel like our value is only on the wins,
Mm.
and that's not life. Like life is, you know, like enjoying your own. Like, have you ever like sat there and like thinking to yourself, and you have like you laugh to yourself because it's like you told yourself a joke. Like it's literally that kind of stupid simple. Like I enjoy being in my head now, right? Sometimes. Now I don't want to live there because that's what got me in trouble. But you know, um,
Yeah. No, it's interesting, right? Because you know we give and we give and we give and we give, and then it's a simple math of like we have nothing more to give, but you're exhausted,
right,
and then you still keep on giving. And
right,
so the number one thing that I do with clients when I get to know them is like, what's your favorite thing that you do in the world that makes you happy, and when was the last time you did it? And 90% of the time it's, well, years ago.
right,
Okay, well, the first thing to incorporate is to do that. And
right.
then this is what they say. This is the classic entrepreneurship statement. It's the greatest thing in the world. Can I do that? Yeah.
Am I allowed
You
to
can
enjoy
do
my life?
you can do whatever you want to do. Yes.
Well, and that's, I mean, we can touch on, we'll get to business, of course, but like that's something that my business partner and I struggle with, who also happens to be my ex-wife. An amazing human being. She's extremely driven, right? She has pushed our business to new heights. The issue is between us is I want to go home and enjoy my life at the end of the day. Sometimes that one extra deal or that one extra phone call or that one extra thing, it doesn't feed me. That's not what life is about. Like I feel like it's almost a European mindset. Like I want to compartmentalize it. Like yes, I am very passionate about what we do. I
Yes.
love real estate. I love connecting with people. But at the end of the day, I'm not texting you back at 9 o'clock at night. Like I'm not doing it.
Mhm.
Like here are my boundaries. Here's how I work. If that works for you, great. Let's work together. And guess what? Business has been pretty great. And then I get
Mhm.
to enjoy my life too. And it's not one thing. It's not all the like. It's not a constant like I'm always in work and in life mode and family mode all at the same time. I get to just separate myself from it. And with these little devices, though, I mean, I get it's almost impossible sometimes to shut off that noise. But that's the real struggle we're in right now. We're trying to create that space to actually enjoy life and know what that life is that we want to enjoy. And again, a privilege that we even have these conversations too. Like I always try to remind myself, like
Yeah.
I am so fortunate. And there are people who are having to work 2 to 3 jobs just to make ends meet, right? Like
Mhm.
I am very fortunate to be able to have these kinds of conversations and think these thoughts.
Yeah, and I think ultimately, one of the things that we struggle with is, the kind of stages of, entrepreneurship or business ownership or whatever you want to call it is, um, I struggled, I was always available. I'm working, 7 days a week, like which everybody has to do. And business might be at a different level, but your identity is still in the struggle person. And,
Right.
one of the things that you have to realize is that the people that respect you wanting to spend time with your kids or take, a Saturday off to go to a farmer's market are the same type of clients that you would want yourself.
Right.
And so, one of the number one things that I've learned, and I can only imagine as a real estate agent, is that a bad client is not worth any amount of money if they are going to make me feel uncomfortable.
Right.
And that is another way of choosing yourself over the money. And I think that's the theme of like the whole conversation.
Definitely, I agree. Like, that was another theme I wanted to touch on. I think we talk about it often, is like the art of letting go, and letting go of clients that don't serve you, letting go of friends or family that doesn't serve you. Because I mean, what is life? It's like this short, right? Like, I think about my kids and having only 18 summers with them, right? Like this summer just disappeared on us, and it's like, did I spend that time where I value it? Like you said, like asking your clients, what do they enjoy the most in life? I enjoy the most in life is like being with my kids and playing and goofing off, and you know what I mean? Like, I always joke my core audience is 3 to 6 years old. Like, these are my people. Like, I make them laugh the most, and I laugh, enjoy my life the most. I want to be around, and because they'll just say what's exactly on their mind, and they just show you a mirror. And by the way, this is going to sound like a brag, but when my 7-year-old daughter said, "Dad, why is your belly so hard?" And I was like, "You have no idea what that means to me, sweetie." Because I mean, I do. Like, I've worked hard to get almost a six pack here. Like I can see it, and it's the best. It was way better than, "Daddy, I love your Santa belly," because that was something she said to me too. Right? And it's just like
Yeah.
how they point that out. They just go right to it, right? They can see, they don't mind saying it because they have they're not ashamed to just say what's on their mind. They have no filter. And
I
why do we
love it.
always have to feel like we have to filter everything to everybody all the time? Is it my responsibility if I say something to you that I think is something that's like a joke or something funny or just a little off color, and then I have to be responsible for your feelings around it too? Right? Like, I feel like that's where we're at in the society. We have to be so, like, to tip on, we have to be on tiptoes around everybody. And I feel like I say this often, I've designed my life to where I don't have to manage anybody in my life. And that's not entirely true. There are two people in my life that I have to manage, and there's no way around it. But for the most part, the people I spend the most time with, I just get to be myself. And I want to show my kids that I am who I am, and that gives you permission to be who you are.
Yes.
Right? I don't want them to be anybody else. I don't want to put anything on them. Like, if they don't like what I like, that's great. Go do what you like. I don't need them to be like me or pursue a passion or a work or whatever like me. It's one of the greatest lessons I think my dad always did. I ended up in real estate anyway. He was a realtor and he had a big business, and he never ever once said, "I want you to do this."
So great. And I think I just said this to somebody yesterday, and I don't have kids, so take it with a grain of salt. But I believe that the number one thing that your kid wants from you is for you to be living the life that you want to lead.
Oh, they do, 100%. Being divorced and talking to parents and kids of divorced parents, I don't know how many times it's come up, especially from teenagers who can actually understand it and see it better. How many times they say, "I just wish my parents would have gotten divorced sooner." Meaning, I wish my parents would have been who they were and done what they wanted to do with their life. And yet we see all these people sacrificing. They're sacrificing to be in the marriage that is killing them and creating all this tension. And again, I'm not an advocate for getting divorced. Anybody who's like, "I'm thinking about leaving my spouse," I'm like, go to therapy. Do the work. Do the work first. Like, if you can get in the same room with that person, with a therapist, and talk about your issues. That was the number one thing my couples therapy guy has said is like, it's amazing, like, and it's only a short amount of time, but y'all have not created any kind of a caricature of each other in your mind, or a version that you can resent. Like, if you can continue to keep the real version of that person in front of you and not some made up version that you can't let go of, you'll always be in a happy relationship.
Oh, that's good. I haven't heard that before. That's really good because that's the truth. I
You've
mean,
been divorced, you
at
know
the
what
end
I'm
of the
talking about.
yeah, but I haven't heard that character thing. That's really good. I like that one a lot. You know, it. You know, okay. I never shared. I don't know why I'm sharing this, but
Come on.
one of the things that came up in therapy was, last week was like I've never really processed my divorce. Like I just moved on from it, but like I'm me and I blacked out those 14 years.
Yeah.
Like and so because I thought the only way to heal was to remove those parts of yourself. And what I realized last week is those parts never leave you.
Yeah. That'll come full
And
circle. You try to get into a
yep.
relationship, it shows back up.
And so I owe it to myself and my future partner and whoever to constantly work on myself to bring back in those parts and love them and make them feel whole so I can heal and be the best version of myself.
Right. Well, and that changing and shifting a mindset too, I think from it being work, I got to work on myself. We always say this, right? I got to work on myself. It
Mm-hmm.
sounds miserable. I don't want to do that. I think it's more of a let's self-discover. Like when I get into the room with therapy and I'm talking about my life and he can be like, hey, we're going to go on that right now. We're going to dig into that. And I get excited now because I'm like, great, we have something that I can challenge myself on and grow and learn and show up as a better person around. And I think that's like getting to that place. It's just like a workout. Like there's some workouts now that I'm like, hell yeah, let's go. Like this is going to be
Mm-hmm.
challenging. It's going to hurt. But when I'm done with it, like this morning completing those 5 rounds, like it was work. It was
Yeah.
hard. And being surrounded by other people doing the work makes it so much more fun. That music kicks up. I mean, we were joking about when the song "Who Let the Dogs" came up, and three of us jerk our heads up and we're like, "No, turn that off." And he immediately hit next on the playlist, and it was something I don't even know what it was, but we're all like, "Okay, we can keep going." You know, just those little moments with people who are
Yeah.
in the weeds too.
Yeah. Completely agree. And I think we all are. And I think that we don't let people know, we don't let people in. But what I want to focus on now, which I find kind of interesting, you know I don't really want to get into the market because nobody wants to talk about the market. It's boring. It's all you do is real estate agents talk about the market. But I think one of the things that inspires me more is like, through all the ups and downs in the different markets, the COVID markets that, you've still been here, as a top performing team. What's kind of your message to everybody out there, kind of even in just in business in general, how you've stayed through all the ups and downs and turns and still remained a top real estate team?
It's a great question. And I agree. Like everybody's like, their favorite thing to ask is, well, if you had a crystal ball, and I'm like, I wouldn't be working right now. If I had a crystal ball, I would literally be gone. I'd be retired already. I wouldn't be doing this. Um, so that's not even a real question. I think it's really dealing in reality. And by the way, we're having our best year in real estate, toughest market I've ever been in, and we're having our best year. And the number one thing I can go to, there's a couple. There's two or three things I think we're doing right. The biggest one is, and this is a quote that I just thought about this morning, was from Thomas Edison. It says, "Opportunity is missed by most because it comes dressed in overalls and looks like work." Right? This is the best year we've ever had in real estate, and it is an utter grind. Right? I'm having to have more hard conversations all the time. Like you're not going to get what you want on price wise on the sell side, right? Buyers, you're going to get frustrated because once you realize how much that payment's going to be to buy the house here in Austin, it's going to hurt. Like it's not easy. Nobody's happy in this market, right? And I'm in the center of this, trying to keep everybody moving forward. Um, so yes, that's been the biggest one, is just working in the market we're in and being willing to do the work and show up and have the hard conversations and the consistency. Like, I'm in this call booth. Look out here. This is a big ass office. There's nobody out there. Literally
Mm-hmm.
nobody here. There are 1,100 realtors in this office that could be in here grinding too, and they're not here.
Mm-hmm.
There's literally like 3 people that I see every day. Guess who's producing? Those 3. So I think that's the biggest thing that my dad taught me is just show up every day, right?
Mm-hmm.
The other thing that, and again, this is market specific to today, but the boomers are controlling the market right now. And I think most people are missing that. That if you look at who's actually moving right now, it's who has the money to move, who has the freedom to move. And it's the boomers. They represent almost like 45% of all transactions right now. Like all, like, because they can downsize, they can move across the country. They just have the ability. They own their houses outright. A lot of them are owner financing to give people better deals so they can get out of their house. Like they can do creative things to get to the next place. Where they're really, to me, controlling the market is they're also funding their kids buying homes because they realize their kids don't have an opportunity to buy in this market if they were going to put their own money down, right? Like it's great that you can buy a house with 3 to 5% down, but if the payment is not affordable because you don't have enough money down, then what's the point? Like you can't buy a house. So they're gifting money to their kids, by the way, which is a great estate planning for old people too. Old people, I hate saying it that way, but it's true. They have an ability to give money to their kids through buying a home that's tax free, and it's a win-win to get their kids into the market. But those 2 areas, that's about 65% of the real estate market. That's over half of all sales are directly influenced or directly the boomers or influenced by the boomers, which is wild to think. And that's going to shift with interest rates and all that. But right now, that's been our core business and one that we've made an effort to connect with and work in, which requires a few things that I have to adjust. Like one, they want to meet in person. They want to sign paperwork in person, right? On paper. I have to slow down and talk and mirror and match at their speed. I want to just keep going, right? And that's not who they are. They need real connection. But guess what they do? They live in community. They talk to all their friends. They are extremely loyal and will refer you better than most demographics will, right? Like you got to think like how many times do the younger crowd when they're thinking about buying a house, do they actually ask their friends that bought a house? They're asking Chat GDP to who to talk to. And or they're googling it, they're looking on Zillow, and it's just not smart. Like how do you know you're going to hire the right person? I'm looking for a financial planner right now. Do you know how many people I've talked to about looking for a financial planner?
Yeah.
Like so many.
Yeah.
And I'm narrowing down my pool. I'm like I've started out with like I've got like 10 recommendations, and like 6 have made it to we've got a phone call. 4 we're going to have a meal together. It's going to be a slow process to get my person.
Yeah.
Because if they're going to be managing my money for the rest of my life, I'm going to be intentional.
I got one for you too.
Okay.
Young kid.
But
I like him
I
young.
wrote down,
I like him young and hungry myself.
right.
Yeah.
Well, I created a buy box for it. I was like, this is exactly what I want out of this person. Number one, actually doesn't have anything to do with money. They have to be in community. We have to have a reciprocal relationship where we send each other business and we like each other. I want to be around this person. I want to have lunch with them regularly. I want to mastermind with them. It's bigger than just giving them my money and saying, please don't lose it. Please make it grow. That is almost superfluous to the relationship.
Yeah. Anybody could do that.
Anybody can do that.
And I think what's interesting, right, is this all circles back. You're having your best year ever. It's the hardest, but you're also the most intentional you've ever been, and you're the healthiest you've ever been.
Yeah, I think that's true too. That's when and sometimes it catches me off guard how intentional I am. I should write down more things. It was nice that the coach this morning, Jeremy, was like, "Hey, have y'all written down your health goals?" And I'm like, "Shit, I haven't. I don't know what to write down."
Yeah.
And sometimes I did like he touched on though. He goes, "Well, it seems like most of y'all are just consistent."
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
it is nice
it
to
was a
know
nice bonus. It was a nice bonus for him to say that. Yeah.
it is, right? Like I think that's at the end of the day, like letting go, let's let go of outcomes too. Let's just
Hmm.
show up every day and do the work we know we need to do. The outcomes will take care of themselves.
Wow. I mean, that's my entire philosophy to life is just keep clocking in. At the end of the day, like I shared something Thursday at men's group. I shared something last night, and I mean it. You weren't at Thursday, so I'll share it in front of you. This is the first time in my life ever that I have complete joy and happiness, and it has nothing to do with business.
Mhm. That's good, man.
I
You know, because
I,
that's
I
what I
spent
tell people.
I spent my entire life putting business as the barometer from how I was happy or healthy,
Right.
and now I put life in front of it, and it's changed my entire life.
I couldn't agree more. Like to me, work and business, it will always be there.
Hmm.
It's always a constant. We have to make money. It's gonna be there no matter what. Like we have to exist and to grow. But like life is in moments. And do you really want to give up and miss those moments just to make another deal happen? It's just not worth it at the end of the day. My kids are worth it, right? Like one of my biggest philosophies, especially through this divorce, is for me to date my kids. I have 3 daughters. And I have some ego about this one because I do it very intentionally. Every week that I don't have my girls, which is every other week, I take one of my daughters on a date. One of them by themselves. And that date is the highlight of my week every time because it's fun, we connect. I get to hear really about what's going on with her and make sure I'm not missing anything. Like I had my oldest yell at me the other day because she's like, "You don't spend enough time with me," and I didn't see it because she's so independent. I just missed it because she,
And those are the ones that need it the most.
yeah, yeah, right. Like I felt like okay, I'm feeling like as a dad, but no, I was present. I let her tell me her business, like what bothered her. She had space, right? Like I think I'm winning because she yelled at me. Like she could have not talked to me about it at all, just kept going with her life. Don't feel like she could trust me to tell me that I'm failing as a dad, right?
Hmm.
And it's easy to say I'm a failure as a dad and say that to yourself over and over again. Instead of saying, I failed in this moment, what can I do to shift and change and grow? You're right? Because that's the way you got to teach your kids. Like
So good.
I think that's our whole lives. We've been told like to identify with those labels, and then what happens on repeat? We just say it to ourselves over and over again, and that's just detrimental. Like, right?
No, one of the things I forgot who it was, but they said, did you have a bad day or did you have a bad hour?
Mm.
You know, and I think and I'm calling myself out. I have a tendency to wear other people's problems as if I created them,
Wow.
and and you know something happens or you're like in the midst of something and you're like, wait, I didn't. I'm the one fixing the problem. I did not bring the problem. Why do I think that I created the problem? And that's just my, sour mindset around, you're the one coming in to save the day. You're not the one that brought the problem. But I wear it as if I caused it because I take so much ownership of it, which is great and wow, cool. But it's not really the thing.
Well, that's the other hard part for guys like us, like people like us who want to help everybody, and it's impossible to help anybody that doesn't want to help themselves. If they just want to stay stuck in that moment and stuck in that mindset, like you can't do anything about it. They'll never shift out of it unless they finally say, I'm tired of this. And that's the biggest
Yes.
thing for me when I went to treatment is people are like, well, did people make you go to treatment? I was like, no, no. I ran to treatment. I was as tired of me as everybody else was. I did not want to be that guy anymore. That's not how I wanted to show up in this world as this angry, resentful person who self sacrificed for other people all day long and people pleased
Hmm.
all day long to my own detriment. So, yeah, it's a
So
really
good.
great topic, man.
Love it. So if people want to reach out to you, they want to find you, how would they do that?
I'm easy to find. My name is Patrick Birdsong. It's easy just Googling me, but can I give you one more thing that I'm really big on right now? And
Sure,
I
go
found
ahead.
it through the
Whatever you
gym
got.
too, and I'm loud about this one too. I feel like people need to give themselves permission to take up space. And
Okay.
the one way I've kind of figured this one out is like in the gym floor when we're putting out the weights and we're like creating our stations. The guys who lift the heaviest, who've been there the longest, are pretty quick to grab the good equipment and grab the good space. And I'm always
Mhm.
like, that asshole. But I'm like, no, wait. He is here intentionally. He's going to get the good stuff. If he wants it, he's going to grab it. He doesn't apologize to anybody. And I'm like, that's life right there. Like, I am allowed to take up space and I'm allowed to have an opinion. I'm allowed to have a big life. And I don't need to apologize for it. Like, if you
Mm.
want that, you take it too. There's plenty. There's plenty of money. There's plenty of time. There's plenty of everything for all of us to have a big life. And I just want people, I feel like people should feel comfortable taking up space.
This is in, I think this is in 10x is easier than 2x.
It-
Benjamin Hardy talks about wants versus needs, and that we as society have a problem with telling people what we want. I want this because I want it. I don't need to apologize to you why I want to build a big business. I don't need to apologize why I work out in the morning. I don't need to apologize why I want that car. And I think that we do that constantly. And that concept that you're describing is so great, because I am always the one to give other people the space
Right.
so they can be comfortable, but I'm never comfortable.
Right. And sometimes you give them the space and they don't even realize you gave it to them.
Mm.
Right. There was no exchange. It's just like, oh, I feel like I should shrink a little bit to give them some room. And I struggle with it because sometimes I overflex the other direction. I'm like, no, motherfucker, get out of my way. I'm like, oh, why did I get aggressive there? There was no need for that.
Mm.
Like I ran right into our buddy in the gym when he was done with the workout and I was still going. And I was like, get out of my way, dude. Like, I'm trying to make the time here. And I went back after, I was like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean anything by it. I just like, I'm here to take up space too. And I wanted to get my run in and I wanted to hit time. And he was like, dude, I get it. No worries.
No, it's so great because it's this goes back to the original theme of choosing yourself first, right? And I think that we don't do that enough, and I think that as parents it's even harder. But you have to fill your bucket up first, and you have to create boundaries around what you're doing, and then ask for what you want. I don't even know if I've shared this with you yet, but it's my favorite line in the history of the world, and I might use it for the next 100 years. I was talking about with somebody about how I'm very humble as a person. I'm very humble. I care about people, and they said, "Hasn't life humbled you enough? Maybe you should just ask for what you want."
That's really good.
And I go, oh my, yes, you're 100% right. What are you, is there like some race that you're trying to win to see who can be the most humble? Like,
there's no scoreboard there. Well, and in that vein, like what I want, especially from this, is that like, yes, I'm in real estate in Austin, Texas, right? I've been in it my whole life. I grew up in the business and I've been very fortunate to connect and work with realtors all over the country. And sometimes in the world, like I have a few good people that I connect with regularly in Mexico because we've had a lot of clients, boomers, selling and moving to Mexico. So like anything real estate related anywhere around, like I can help, like I connect you with the right people. And that's where I love being in community too. I have this amazing real estate community that I've cultivated over the last 20 years. And so when somebody's like, yeah, I'm thinking about doing something in like Sacramento, I'm like, I know who you should talk to because it's somebody that I connect with regularly. You know what I mean? So that's my give and my ask. Like, if you need anything in real estate, you want to mastermind or talk about anything you're thinking about doing in real estate, like I'd love to get into it, even if it's not here.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Guys, make sure you check Patrick out. If you like this episode, send it to a friend, rate us and review us, and we'll see you next time.
Awesome. Thanks.